as the center of things into the past. Can you talk a little bit more? Is there a little more?
I wish I could. I just can't, because it in that capsule is what is kind of the kernels of what this whole thing is, which we completely tell everybody in like 2 episodes. And I think that they want that to be as much of a surprise as possible, because it's a good one. It's incredibly plausible, which I liked. I thought that was nice and different than what I thought, which was awesome.
How is your thoughts on the character? How have they changed and evolved as you've learned more about her?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, I'm pretty nosy, so I asked a lot of questions to begin with, and I always do. And then I also write up my own, because I'm a dork, you know, and a geek, and I love my work so much. I write up a thing, and then I say, does that make sense? Is that true? Did that happen? Is that possible? And they usually let me know. So yes or no, or possibly, or kind of along those lines, or that sort of thing. So I kind of didn't realize that she's as moral as she is. Maybe that was a surprise. And I know that sounds strange given how many people she's killed and what she's done, right? But I felt like that was interesting to me, because I felt then you have kind of an anti-hero in a way who really does try to be heroic, and I love that. I thought that was fun.
Did they arm you with any information that you needed to know ahead of time, ahead of the script or the story?
They didn't feel I needed to know things, but I did. So yes, I armed myself. And I think that my 5-page "Is This True?" was helpful and leading. So that was really good. And then I had a couple conversations with Eric, and he's been really good about it. He knows I like to kind of know. Yeah.
Were you kind of bummed to find out you didn't get to handle the rocket launcher and take down one of those helicopters the last episode?
Doesn't seem to end well for those who do, right? So you either get thrown against a wall or riddled with bullets. Although, didn't he do great, Graham? I thought he was fantastic. That look down at his chest, like, I thought that was absolutely heartbreaking. I was crying when I saw an ADR.
So Rachel gave up the secret to Howard to save his life, and
Right.
now he's dead.
Now he's dead.
Can you talk a little bit about her? I mean, you kind of know what happens, but about her feelings about it.
I mean, I think the thing that's interesting to me about Rachel, but it doesn't necessarily make her likable, is that she doesn't really feel like she has anything to lose, but she's also fractured. Like, you're not dealing with a person that you can expect behavior from. She would be entirely unexpected. Her grief is at such a level where she's a completely loose cannon. And I would imagine it's because she probably just wants to die. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's any worse pain, right? So it's about making sure that her daughter is all right, and it's about getting revenge, and I think the rest of it's really fascinating to me. But I think that fractured, damaged psyche is really where all of it gets fascinating to me, I think, as a woman and a mother.
I was going to say, how does that change Rachel's relationship with Charlie as far as they're both dealing with the grief?
Yeah.
And they were kind of at odds a little bit before
I mean, I
now?
think they're still at odds. They have great moments of clarity, and it helps that Tracy's so lovely, you know, because we have a good relationship off camera. But yeah, it's sad. It seems like whoever's writing this specific stuff has a good idea of mother-daughter relationships, because there are moments of true joy and love, and then there's just, you know, 2 strong women headbutting. I always say that it's such a tragedy because you get the feeling that Rachel was a great mother before. She was a great mother before, and that she really just, how do you come back from that, you know?
Thinking about the high concept of the world that the show set in, has that had any blowback on how you think about how you want to raise your kids, or what they should be prepared to think about?
I take away electronics all the time.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, yeah, but I always have. I'm the one who, my son is like, no, she took it. You know, because I don't love it. I understand that it's prevalent and it's everywhere, but I like us to look each other in the eye. But once that genie's out of the bottle, it's almost too late. That's all they want to do, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think about personal interaction, and I spent my childhood outside. You know, my mom we'd come home and she'd be like, ow, 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 ow. And you're like, okay, sure, but we didn't, you know, I miss it.
Yeah.
We saw in this trailer that there's a pretty steamy kiss coming up between Rachel and Lyons.
All Billy.
But raises the question: are both of her kids, or could one of them?
That's a great question. I've asked that. They haven't answered, so I can't even tease. I ask that all the time. I'm like, really? I feel like, although she does look a little bit like Tim, so I wonder.
Is she going to be receptive to renewing a romantic sort of liaison if you had something before?
That's such a great question. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens between them. I mean, right now, just having that bit of a frisson is nice. Where we'll pick back up again, basically, is good. There's something there, and I like.
A little bit overwhelmed with her grief at the moment and
I think
revenge,
so.
and I think romance would be the last thing I want.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that, you get that feeling. You're not quite sure if she's gonna kiss him or just hit him like really hard. not like a little hit, but like a good one, and I get that feeling from her all the time.
But he's sort of in another relationship too.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm happy she keeps saying no, right? Because otherwise that would make her not great. You can't do that. It's against the rules. Plus, Nora's awesome.
But she's also kind of, it seems like a manipulator in a way, and if she senses that might be a way to get what she wants, ultimate revenge.
Oh gosh, yeah. If she could get what she wanted through kissing him, she'd kiss him all day. Yeah. I mean, she'd kiss anybody. Like, yeah, she doesn't. I mean, she kills people for God's sakes. Like, I mean, yeah, no, she's not. She's morally reprehensible, but it is for an interesting reason. So in that way, I can get on board.
Do you feel like she's a character who is capable of redemption, or is she always going to do what she thinks needs to be done, no matter what that does to her?
I like to think that it would be amazing if she were to get some sort of redemption. Maybe she doesn't think that she deserves it, or that she is entitled to it, or that it's even possible. But to me, it might be an excellent way to go to see what happens if she does indeed get it. It'd be very cool.
Can you tease anything about the upcoming season to get us, pumped, excited?
So we're shooting the last episode right now. Everything that we talked about so far, all of those questions are answered, and the backstories to all of those are shown, not talked about, and that's my favorite thing. I can say that. I would much prefer to have the audience be able to see things than have us talk about what happens, and that happens a lot with some of these flashbacks, which is nice.
Will a lot of questions be answered by the finale? I mean,
Yes.
because in episode 13 we're going to learn why the lights went out.
Oh yeah. We will. We really do. In one conversation, sitting across from Aaron, the whole thing just comes out.
Will there be a bigger question entered into the equation at the end?
There's definitely a quest at the end for season 2, but it's not so much what we've been questing for in season 1. Yeah. More like 24 that way.
Somebody
Thank you,
died in that
everybody.
episode?
Oh my gosh, people die all year. Which, they said you can't talk about deaths. I'm like, really? People die all the time. I mean, nobody's safe. So yeah, I wish they were, but they're not. So yeah.